In this video, we're going to discuss how to find the distance between 2 points. On the board, I've got a point at -1, -2, and a point at 3, 2. So we're going to try to find this straight line distance between the 2 points. Now notice we can't count 1, 2, because they're not on exactly those points. So we're going to kind of use a portion of the Pythagorean theorem here to find the distance. So if we take the square root of our x points, so we're going to take our second x, subtract our first x, and then square it. And we're going to add that to our second y point, subtract our second y point, and square it. Now notice we're going to do all of this before we take the square root of everything. So we can plug in our points. And honestly, it doesn't matter which one you call x1 or x2, it doesn't matter. So I'm going to start with, I'm going to call this my second point, this my first point. x2 is going to be 3. I'll go ahead and write out mine. So 3 minus -1 squared plus 2 minus -2 squared. If we simplify this thing out, 3 minus -1 is the same as 3 plus 1. So that's going to give me 4 squared plus 2 minus -2 is 2 plus 2, which is 4 squared. Okay, so we're going to get the square root of 16 plus 16. 16 plus 16 is 32. And the square root of 32, I believe, is 5.7. Excuse me. Is 5.7. So the distance from this point to this point is 5.7 units long. Okay, now I'm good with that. I wanted to show you the formula version. I kind of think about this in a different sense. I imagine I've got a triangle up here. Okay, and this is where it's the same thing we just did here, use the Pythagorean theorem, but I think of it as a shape. Okay, so from this point I count 1, 2, 3, I've gone over 4 units. From here up to my y, I've gone up 1, 2, 3, 4 units. And from previous math classes, you know to find your hypotenuse, you square this side, and then take the square root to get that distance. So I think of this as 4 squared plus 4 squared. And notice we end up with the same thing. I just like to think of it as going up and going up, or going down and down instead of that. Either way works for you, and you still end up with the square root of 32, which once again I think is 5.7.